Hey, welcome back everyone to this Next.js tutorial, and today in this tutorial we will learn about loading UI in Next.js. So what is loading UI? A loading UI or a loading user interface is what users see while they are waiting for a web page or a part of web page to finish loading. It's like please wait sign that tells user something is happening behind the scene. So in context of Next.js, when a user click a link or navigate to a new page, the content might not appear instantly. There is often little delay while the new page loads. Instead of showing a blank screen during this time, which might make user think that site is broken, we show a loading UI. And this loading UI could be a spinning circle, a progress bar, a simple loading text, or any other visual indicator. The purpose is to let users know that the site is working, this request is being processed, content will appear soon. So for that, in Next.js, you have two approach. In the first approach, you can use only the suspense boundary or suspense component per route segment or per page to handle the UI loading, or you can handle the UI loading globally. That means Next.js provide a file convention named loading.ts or JS or TSX, where you can define your loading and use that loading file throughout your route segment or wherever you need to show the loading UI. So how are you going to use that? Let's go to the Next.js documentation and look at this picture. You can see at this picture, there is a page within this suspense component, and this page is a slow page. That means when you access this page, it takes time. So while it is taking time, we want to show only the loading screen to show user that site is working properly and your request is being processed. And as you can see, to show the loading screen or loading UI, you need to provide a fallback property to the suspense component. And to that property, you need to pass your loading text or spinning circle or loading UI that you want to show while loading the page. Let's see practically how to do that. Now here you can see I have created this product route segment, and this product route segment contains a fetch method which gets the data from this API endpoint you can see here. And then it stores the product card with the information like a product image, price, and etc. So what happens here sometimes whenever we get the data or get the product from this API, it takes time. So meanwhile, we want to show the loading text. For that, we will need to wrap this product component or product card component with the suspense boundary. So let's do that. Here, use the or import the suspense boundary from the React. And then after importing this suspense boundary, you need to provide a fallback property to specify that, hey, I want to show this UI while fetching or while request is being processed. So in this case, I'm going to show a simple text, which is a loading ... And now let's go back in the browser and go here. Let's go to the home page and click on the products. And when you click on the project, you do not see the loading text that we have specified within the suspense boundary, because this means it is loading so fast that we can't see. But I have a solution for this. Open a dev tool on your Chrome browser and go here in the network tab, and then you see here components. And if you do not see this component, let's go in your browser and type here React Dev Tools. And then you need to install this React Developer tool in your Chrome. After installing it, you will be able to see this component like option. Click on this and go here in search bar, type suspense and click on this suspense. And when you click on this suspense, you can see here suspend equal to false. This means your content has arrived and you are seeing your content. And you can also see here, we are actually seeing this product data which is coming from the API. But what we can do when we make it true, this means our data is loading. So to make it true, click on this like a watch icon. And when you click on, you can see your loading text that you have specified here. So let's change it and say page is loading, and let's go back and you can see. So here suspense boundary true means your data is being loaded, and while it is loading, it is going to show your custom UI or custom text that you have specified. And when you make it false, that means your data has arrived and you can see your data. So here, instead of this loading text, I want to show a spinner. Let's create that. Now go in your Next.js project. Let's create a spinner. Here in component folder, I'm going to create a new component called a loading like this, called a spinner.tsx, and create a component, name it a loading like this, And then let's create the spinner. So specify class name and then flex, justify center, item center, and height should be a edge screen. Create one more div within this and specify a class name. So here it should be a animate spine, then it should be a rounded full, a border of top, and the size of the border would be a 2, a border of bottom, also the size should be 2, and then border should be a gray of 900. Now this is our spinner, and let's go back on the product page, and instead of this text that you see here, include that loading or spinner here. So remove all of this text and specify here loading, or this is our spinner, use it here, import it. Now let's go back in the browser and see. So let's refresh the page, and we do not see because it is loading so fast. Here in the component, search the suspense, and then here make it a false, and when you make a false, you can see your spinner here, but we do not see it. Let's debug. So the issue is here we haven't specified the height and width of the spinner. So here height would be a 32 and width should be also 32. Now let's go back in the browser and here make this suspended to true, and we can see our spinner. So this means your data is being loaded, you need to wait. Now instead of showing the spinner on this specific page, or which means you need to use the multiple suspense component on a different page to show the loading UI. But in Next.js, you can follow the second approach where you will need to define a loading UI at one place and use it wherever you need to show the loading UI. And for that, you will need to create a file called a loading.tsx. Loading.tsx in your root directory, in the app directory. And within this, you will need to specify the spinner that you want to show. And when we specify that spinner here, it will be shown on wherever your page takes time to load. So I'm going here in the spinner and I'm going to grab all the code from here and then go in the loading.tsx, paste it here and delete this spinner. We don't need it anymore. Now let's go back in the browser and it is showing error. So let's go to the product page to fix this problem. And here we need to import this loading from the loading.tsx file. So remove this import and scroll down, hover on this component and then import it from .loading. Now let's go to the product page and you can see loading spinner. You saw that. Now let's go back and again click on this. We are not seeing because it is happening so fast, and click on history, clean all the history. So to see the loading UI, let's again go to the component and within a component, search the suspense and then make it a true. You can see the loading UI. So here this loading UI is not applied only this product page, but it also applies on all of the route segment that you see here, like your home, like your about, like your contact. So when you have heavy data and data is loading, it will show this defined UI within the loading.tsx file. So here you've specified the loading UI and it will be shown on each of the page wherever your data is being processed or loaded. Instead of black screen, this UI will be shown there. And remember, in Next.js, you need to follow the file convention loading.tsx. This means the file name should be loading.tsx, otherwise it will not work. So I hope that you understand how to load a UI in Next.js to improve the user experience where pages takes time to load or part of pages takes time to load. Instead of black screen, we can show our loading UI. So at last I want to say, don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.